Blase, blase, blah. We are back. It is a Tipping Back Tuesday. Law Dog in
yes,
the
sir.
Hizzy from Detroit. The Highly Question One, Arjun Milliad Show. IDD, for those who know, I don't disagree. Segment 2, Law Dog's First Impressions. Super Bowl, what number is it?
59.
Is it 59?
Yeah, we got 60 next year, right?
Oh, God,
it's crazy.
It's like it was...
I feel like I remember Super Bowl 18 like it wasn't that long ago.
It's like, it's just, wow.
Yeah. We're getting up there.
So this is the Super Bowl that nobody wants. And I can see why, because Philly fans just suck and everybody's sick and tired of KC. So you've had a couple of days now to kind of look at this.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not going to pick it tonight, but I wanted to ask you, because we asked Tom. Of course, Tom being Tom didn't get to point number 3. I think he got to 2 of them, which is better than normal for him. But I wanted your take on this. Give me a couple of keys for each team. Like, what does KC have to do? And now, by the way, they're favored by 1.5.
KC, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because Philly just bent the Commanders over in the NFC title game.
Well, Ric Flair said the best when he said, "To be the man, you got to beat the man."
You do.
And I so I feel like it's
but
1.5 isn't a lot, right? So I feel
anybody even breathed on Saquon Barkley yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
This is the thing. They met 2 years ago. That was an epic Super Bowl that came down to another questionable call. Mm-hmm. And the thing about that Super Bowl is, because the Philly defense, which had set the record for sacks that year, if you recall.
Yep.
I don't know what they were doing, but they didn't show up. They never got to Mahomes once. And the Chiefs line was better then than it is now, but it wasn't. They should have got at least 2. But they never got to him. But the thing is this, Philly put up 35 points with a turnover. Mm-hmm. So they did not stop Philly.
Right.
And they didn't have Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out how a game that came down, it was 38-35 for those of you who recall, how they're a 1.5 point favorite on a neutral site when this is the best offensive line in the league, one, because Philly does have the best offensive line in the league. They've got arguably the best running back in the league. And this quarterback, the last time these two faced off, outplayed Mahomes. Because he did, by a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. So, start with KC if you like. Give me a couple things you think they got to do here to stop or contain. I don't think they're going to stop them, but contain them. Because they didn't stop them last time. I don't know.
Kansas City. So defensively, what does Kansas City have to do?
What are they going to do?
I think, first, Steve Spagnuolo, fully trust him. Hall of Fame defensive coordinator, multiple Super Bowls.
Yep.
I think early you got to pressure Jalen Hurts, and you got to get in there and stop Saquon Barkley early. Got to shut that down.
You've got to shut that
You're not going to shut it down all game.
No.
But early, I think. And part of the reason is, Jalen Hurts, I didn't see any tush pushes in the last game. I know he moved around okay.
He scored a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he scored a rushing touchdown. But I feel like, man, you got to pressure him. I don't know how bad. I don't know. You got to get him off balance for sure.
Okay.
So I think Spagnuolo doesn't. I'm not saying he's got to blitz every down, but he's got to blitz often.
I would think he's going to run blitz for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
If there is people were talking about Philly's defensive front has a big advantage over KC's front on the other side of the ball.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, what about this one?
So that's why my key is Spagnuolo's got to have a near perfect aggressive defensive game plan. So that's my first key on.
You've got to make Saquon change direction before he gets to the line of scrimmage, because if he can,
And it's his first Super Bowl, right? So you got to make it look like it's his first Super Bowl. Like a lot of these guys, Jalen Hurts, some of these receivers, they've been around. They've been here before. A lot of the Philly guys have. So
yeah, I don't think experience is going to be a factor here. Because they just faced off 2 years ago.
Right.
And Philly believes they should have won that game, and I agree with them. They should have won that game. Yep. So there's no fear factor here either.
No, they're not scared.
All right, so first thing, contain Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's
you got to keep him.
You got to give Jalen Hurts mixed looks, but you got to pressure him and like you said, run blitz. Yeah. But that defensive game plan is so key for Kansas City. Because that's I'm not really too worried about the receivers. I'm not too worried about AJ and Devontae. I'm sure they'll get theirs, but I don't think they're going to be the difference. I think Saquon would be the difference if there was an offensive player for Philly that's going to help them win the game. It's probably Saquon Barkley. I could be wrong, but I feel like that if that's going to be the guy, you got Casey's got to stop.
Their best player this year has been Saquon Barkley. It hasn't been.
Yeah.
It hasn't been Hurts, and it hasn't been the 2 All-Pro receivers because those both All-Pro caliber. They are.
Yep. Brown and Smith, right? No.
The thing about those two is in the first Super Bowl they lit them up. Casey couldn't stop them.
Yep.
Hurts threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdown passes. They couldn't stop them. Nope. So now you got to deal with this Saquon Barkley. And those two. I agree the first thing is you got to put, and I don't know how they're going to do this. I was talking about, did you see All the Right Moves? Did we have this conversation?
We did not have this conversation.
Tom Cruise,
but great movie.
Tom Cruise, Leah Thompson in her prime.
Yeah. Oh, she was, yeah, I remember Leah Thompson. Yeah.
Lovely. Loved her. But 6'2" Stack Monkey. Was the call, 6'2" Stack Monkey. If you recall Walnut Heights, who was third in the state, PA is a high school football powerhouse. Look at the recruits they get. That's where it's them, Texas, Florida, California, the top 4, routinely. So Walnut Heights was undefeated, ranked third in the state. They had a running back who resembled a John Riggins.
Oh, yes,
and
legendary Redskin.
And the coach, by the way. The coach, who is what is his name? Craig T. Smith, or whatever his name is. He was
Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, good actor. Been in a lot of stuff. The coach came up with the 6'2" Stack Monkey.
The 6'2" Stack Monkey.
Because what they said was, we play our base defense, we can't. So here's what we're going to do. What if we play goal line D the whole game? We'll go 6'2". They would literally get 6 fat guys, just line them up, hat on a hat on a hat. When he comes up to the line, he's going to see nothing, just flesh. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So. And again, they're not going to do this, but I would love if Spagnolia did it. Because to me, nobody's tried this. Goal line D. Right. Here's the thing. You put 6 linemen down there, or 4 fat guys and 2 edge rushers, super speed off the edge to keep what's his name inside the keep Hurts contained, so he doesn't break contained, and then you go nickel 5 defensive backs in the back. If I were the Kansas City Chiefs, that is what I would do. And you can spy Hurts on top of because cornerbacks and safeties are faster than linebackers. You got 6 down linemen. You don't need a linebacker.
Right.
Okay? So it's like, to me, and no one's seen this defense. No one's done it. Nobody's doing a goal line D at the 50-yard line on a first down. Okay? So to me, it's like, if you get them in, because to your point, if you get them in 3rd and long, and then you can kind of go after him, that's, I think, Casey's formula for success. Now, again, in lieu of the fact that I think there's no chance in hell of the 6'2" Stack Monkey happening, because I'm just not that fucking great or that smart. If I am, I will retire if they do it, because that'll be the call of calls. If we're being honest, that'll be the call of calls. Like, dude, they had 6 men. What did you call that again? I'm like, 6'2" Stack Monkey, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I think run blitzing, and we said that is the thing when Casey, or rather, Philadelphia, and you've probably seen this, whenever they shift they'll bring a tight end across, or they'll actually bring an extra lineman and overload one side. The run blitz has to come to that side, and you got to bring one more than they can block. You got to get him to turn his shoulders and get him with the pursuit, corner him in. If he is allowed to break the line of scrimmage, Casey's in for a long night. Long night.
Yeah.
So then you got to hope for a turnover.
Wouldn't be surprised to see at least one big breakout run for a touchdown.
Casey, now from
Saquon Barkley.
This is the classic where the rubber meets the road. Casey is ranked in the top 5 in defense. I said last night, and I'll say it again in front of you, I think they are the best tackling defense in the league.
Yeah.
They are well coached, especially on the back end. I don't, if there's one team, Casey has not, by the way, in the last 8, the whole regular season, not one single 100-yard rusher. They haven't allowed one.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So this is the classic rubber meets the road matchup.
It is, yeah.
And it will decide the game, I believe. Whoever wins that battle, I think, is going to win the game.
Yeah.
Barring, of course, the Zebras. So we talked about Saquon. Give me something else. Offensively, what do they got to do here?
Offensively, Casey.
Philadelphia has a very good front line.
You want me to say it was Casey?
Casey offensive. What do they got to do offensively here?
I think you gotta give the Philly defense some unexpected Patrick Mahomes action with the runs. And the reason why I say this is a big legacy game for Patrick Mahomes. We all know it could be 3 in a row. That's a big deal.
It's the one thing Brady hasn't done.
Exactly. So
one thing he hasn't done is chasing Brady, let's be honest.
And mixing that offensive look up and making them think now you got an extra rusher and he's going to run more. I mean, I'll tell you, if he can't make the pass, he's going to die for that end zone. He is going to do everything he can.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes has been pretty good in the playoffs with that. So I think that is the offensive game plan has to be to really mix it up,
Runs with you?
But I think more design runs with Patrick Mahomes.
Well, this is Super Bowl.
And that's kind of a really unique key. But I mean, we know Travis Kelce's probably going to get his. You've got great receivers on the outside, right? You got Hopkins, you got Hollywood Brown. I mean, you got these guys that are. I mean, you got
Worthy.
And Xavier Worthy, nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. But he's the fastest guy, arguably in the league. 4.2.
I mean, the guy is crazy, right? Yeah, so you've got the speed on the outside to open that back of that defense up and then take off. Yeah. So. Dink and dunk stuff, I don't think is going to get it done against Philly. I like big plays, and I like design runs by Patrick Mahomes.
They've got to put up 30+ again. They're not going to.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not going to.
Which they haven't done much this season.
No, they haven't. In fact, the first time they did it was 2 weeks ago against Buffalo.
Yep.
They had not broke 30 this season. So I agree with all of that. I don't think the Mahomes running is going to be a surprise because he did it so much against Buffalo. Philly's got to be. If Philly does not expect this coming, then that coach is dumber than I am giving credit for. Because honestly, he ran. How many design runs did he have against Buffalo? And they knew they had to do it because Josh Allen was going to do it on the other end. So this guy, Philly has design runs for Jalen Hurts, and they've got Saquon Barkley. Now, I said last night, and I'll say it again, on paper, Philly's the better team. I don't think anybody would argue that. From a roster perspective, they have the better roster, top to bottom. They do, really. But they had the better roster 2 years ago. So my thing is Philly has to keep Mahomes in the pocket, much like the Patriots and the Tampa Bay Bucks who beat them in the playoffs did. He was not able to break contain. They spied him with a cornerback so he could run him down. They didn't use a linebacker. You can't use a linebacker to spot Patrick Mahomes. I've seen teams dumb it to try. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
He'll outrun a linebacker all day long. It's got to be a cornerback or a safety. It's got to be. If you don't understand that, you've been sleeping. And if they try and spy him with a linebacker, he will do exactly what you said he was going to do.
And this is not the design. I'm not just talking about design runs just to fool Philly, because I can see Patrick Mahomes taking a couple hits and probably getting a couple flags for those hits when he slides down. This is you're giving more opportunities for the referees to help you, which they're probably going to anyway.
Philly,
but this is the design run. I think is very key for the Kansas City offense.
Yeah, they have to. Philly has to keep him in the pocket.
I agree.
They have to spy him with a cornerback or a safety. That should be the guy at the line.
And he has weapons. He can throw the football,
but if you can do that, because Philly's D is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you can get pressure with 4, which they should have been able to do 2 years ago, but they didn't begin it. I thought the game plan was very vanilla.
Yeah.
Philly just came in and goes, we're going to impose our will, and he got out tacticians by. And this is the thing: the one glaring advantage here, besides the lines, Casey has a huge coaching advantage here.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid is way better than this guy. He will show him things he has not seen before. And this guy has been on this stage 2 years ago, so he's not going to be deer in the headlights this time. But he's got to anticipate some things.
Yeah.
He knows who this guy is. And he should know, especially Spagnuolo, because Spagnuolo took a lot out of Bill Belichick from Belichick. Whatever he's showing you ain't what they're doing.
Yeah.
It ain't what they're doing. On either side of the ball, I might add. So your defense has to be prepared to play sideline to sideline. And you've got to be able to switch in the secondary because they're going to bump. Casey likes to do that rub route.
Oh, yeah.
And they burned Buffalo with it many times. Philadelphia has to switch that, like a screen in basketball. Now, if you have all defensive backs out there, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
To me, it's a similar approach to these guys, is put your big guys up front and then keep everything in front of you. Don't let them get behind you because he will burn you if they do. And for the love of God, somebody spy Travis fucking Kelce. You got to be shitting me. Now, Buffalo actually did take him out. He only had 2 catches. The Buffalo did a good job of this. The week before, I was laughing.
The week before, he was good.
The Texans lost that game because of that. They just did. Like, do you know who that is? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Buffalo wasn't that stupid. Philly would be wise to follow the Buffalo script. Take him out of the game.
Yeah.
Because unlike Buffalo, you have more firepower, more ways to score on them than Buffalo does. You do.
Yeah.
So to me, you've got to win at the line of scrimmage, both sides, whoever it is, and don't, for the love of God, turn the ball over.
No.
This is the other thing. If the refs, see, this is why I Philly should win this game. There is the ref factor. What I was trying to say to you before was, and again, I don't want to be this guy, but Troy Aikman kind of threw the gauntlet down. He wasn't wrong. The fact is, in the last 3 Super Bowls the Chiefs have played in, their offensive line has got exactly 0 holding penalties.
Interesting.
3 Super Bowls.
That's wild. I didn't know that. That's an interesting analytic.
That's utterly
impossible.
That's utterly ridiculous. And people say, and if you've played football, and I have, I don't know if you have, but I have, you could call holding on every single
play. That's why I said
how about once?
Utterly ridiculous is good, but I would also say it's almost impossible.
How about once?
Yeah.
How about once, ref? See this one, and again, Roger Goodell came out and with his bullshit today. I don't know if you saw this. Roger Goodell with his bullshit. There's no way. Blah blah blah. I'm like, really? Well, riddle me this, Raj. How come in 3 consecutive Super Bowls their line doesn't have a single holding penalty?
That's interesting.
In a sport where everybody's in the play says you can call holding on every fucking play. How about once, Raj? How about once, Raj? 3, you know what the saying is, 1's a fluke, 2's a trend, 3's a problem.
Right.
3 consecutive Super Bowls, Raj, you wonder why the public is in arms? You wonder why ticket sales, by the way, are down. Have you seen the prices on these things? Nobody's buying.
You got better deals this year?
Because they all think it's rigged. It's in the game. Taylor Swift to be down there with the confetti and kissing him on the cheek and all that shit. They think it's already over. So Philadelphia might as well not even show up because whether they play well or not.
Well, the tickets under like $5,000 or something? Or?
For the Super Bowl, they've gone way down.
Yeah, that's good to know.
They've gone way down. But because nobody's going. Like, well, this is already mailed in. Casey's going to win. And the fact that they're a 1.5 point favorite, given what just happened. Did you see what Philly did to the Commanders?
Yeah, dismantled them after they dismantled.
They dismantled.
Well, the Lions wet the bed.
They wet themselves. But these guys took the Commanders completely out of their game.
Yeah,
completely out of their game. And KC was lucky to get by Buffalo. They were lucky to win that game. That 4th down call will be talked about forever.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
Yeah.
So, where you're getting 1.5 from on a neutral site?
Yeah.
Vegas always knows more than the rest of us, boys and girls.
They sure do.
They always do.
That's why the house always wins.
The house always wins. So,
and if you win, they get it back.
So when you're looking at that spread, what would you think?
Yeah.
And the fact, that little stat that I just gave you, that I know for a fact Las Vegas knows that stat too.
Of course.
Yeah. So think about what I just said. Think about the line. And to me, and I said this again, we'll talk about this more on Saturday, but this isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. When do they? It's not going to be. We talk about the Chiefs do get penalties, but every 50-50 call seems to go their way.
Sure.
That is not an exaggeration because most of America feels that way.
Yeah.
So it's not just Kansas City or people that hate the Chiefs. It's everybody that don't even like Philadelphia. Like Mad Dog Russo was on today.
Yeah.
Because we had 98.5 The Sports Hub was our big sports station up in
Boston.
Sports Talk. Yeah.
Yep.
They're down at the Super Bowl. Mad Dog and them are friends. He comes on the set. And he goes, look. He goes, is Philly the better? He literally said what I just said. Is Philly the better team? Yeah. But he's like, look, I understand, the hatred. I'm sick of these guys too. But the fact is, it seems like every 50-50 call they get. And it's not an exaggeration. And for Roger Goodell to come out there and say that crap when he tried to pin two farces on the Patriots and all the crap, and please, all the other crap that he's done. Roger Goodell is you know what? Want to know why he makes $30 million a year?
Because he makes the owners so much money.
He takes bullets for 32 bitter billionaires who pull more dirty shit than you'll ever know about.
Oh my God!
There is nothing dirtier than the NFL owners. All 32 of them, even Robert Kraft, they're all fucking dirty. They're all dirty. They got dirt under their fingernails. Every last one of them. Care what you tell me.
Big dirt.
Big dirt. Billionaire Boys Club. They are the Billionaire Boys Club. They got America's #1 sport, and they're here, and they will. And by the way, 18 games. It's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's just like the 16 in college football. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And we're going to probably end up having
but the good
96 in the damn March Madness.
About the good thing about 16 in football is you get 4 rounds.
Yeah, that is true.
This was great. This was great this year.
I liked it. I thought it was fine. The college football, I know a lot of people hated on it. I thought it was great.
You people are idiots.
I know. I watched a lot of the games, too.
When they get to 16, this will be March Madness, and I'm telling you right now. Once they see what 1AA's been doing this forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like once
Division 2 as well, yeah.
You had Alabama bitching, you had Ole Miss bitching, you had Miami bitching. If you had 16, those 3 are all in.
Yeah.
And again, if you're 17 or 18, you can't really bitch.
No.
You can't really bitch.
Yeah.
But if you're in the top 16,
yep. Yeah, you can play. You can come.
Notre Dame was the 8th seed. Now they should have been ranked. They should have been higher because they were ranked 3rd at the end of the year. They lost points for not being in a conference.
Ohio State is 7 seed.
Ohio State was 7 seed. That's who faced each other in the national championship. By your rules, neither one of them would have got in.
Right, by the old rules, right?
Neither one of them would have got in. So fuck that.
Yeah, I like the way it worked out. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way I want them to win, but at least it was a tournament. It was on the field. It was settled on the field. It wasn't by a bunch of computers and a bunch of bullshit.
And a lot of good games too.
Yeah,
a lot of good games.
There were a lot of good games. And
early round, we had some clunkers, but
I think when you get to 16, there'll be more balance. And plus, with this NIL, the talent pool is going to spread out because you're going to have a 16. You watch what happens.
Are you serious? I'm watching this Lakers game. I don't even know this team.
The Lakers are bending.
3 and 4 offensive rebounds, and Luka's on the bench.
They're bending over the Clippers, who have Zubek is a pretty good big man.
He's been pretty solid.
James Harden is a league MVP, and Kawhi Leonard is a Finals MVP. They're all on the floor.
Yeah,
and they're down 19.
James Harden is great scorer, excellent shooter,
great passer,
and a great flopper.
Yeah, he's a great flopper.
Well, all-time great. Probably better than LeBron. I mean,
I don't
James
know.
Harden when he would take it to the goal like that every time.
The flop is real.
Yeah, the flop is real. The flop is real.
The many faces of LeBron James, one of them is the flop.
Yeah,
he's had some doozies.
He has had some doozies. You're right. I'd have to see.
If they ever make his hits.
Oh, I'm sure they have it out. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere.
Want to see some of LeBron's greatest hits or greatest? I get news for you. That'd be a 5-minute tape.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would be a 5-minute tape.
Yeah. But Harden's got a few. Harden used to get like ticky-tack free throws. Like my
Harden's
God.
in the fraternity. I'm just saying LeBron's running the fraternity.
Oh my God. Are you serious? And one? Or they call a foul?
They call offensive.
They call offensive.
Look at this. Yep. Go ahead. Well, let's see what happened. Did he get the charge? This is hard.
Was he in position?
He kind of was there.
I feel like he went to the side of him though.
You gotta pull up.
It's tough.
See, here's what these players suck. They can't pull up from 5 feet and take a jump shot.
Yeah.
You're an NBA player. Well, that should be a layup for you. Just
I mean, our kids pull up 10 feet.
Why can't you?
Wide open layup. They'll just pull up.
Yeah, they just pull up. There's nobody in front of them.
Oh,
you at 6'8" can just pull up and take a little 5-footer. What the hell? You can't make that. You're a pro. It's the second easiest shot in the game to the layup. It's like just pull up and avoid the whole thing. What the hell are you doing?
UCLA's got too much size for Michigan State right now. 48-39.
Oh shit.
I mean,
who's the fuck is that? Who the hell is that dude?
No, they've got Wemby Jr. on the team.
He's Willie Mammoth. Look at him. Dude, he's over 7 feet.
He's easy. He's probably 7'3", 7'4".
Yeah. We're in the second half out in Pavilion. It's UCLA 48-39 over Michigan State. Make that shot. But no, that went in.
Man, they needed that.
UCLA is big.
Real big.
They're big. Usually Michigan State, it's rare that Michigan State is not the bigger team on the floor.
And Izzo, the look on his face, he looks defeated already. There's 13 minutes left in the game. He just looks like he's tired.
He looks a little flustered right now. Izzo doesn't, but he wears Izzo. One thing I always loved about Izzo, he wears his heart in his sleeve. He doesn't hide his emotions.
He doesn't.
He never has.
You always know how he feels.
I love that about him. You know how he feels. Good rebound. Get to the basket.
Get to the basket.
There's plenty of time. It's just.
Frankie Fiddler and one. Does he get it? No.
I don't know.
They did call.
They call the foul. Anyway.
I call Freda Felcher. Is what I call him.
Felcher. That's going to do it for our show tonight, though. We will return Saturday night for a Slug 'em Down Super Bowl preview. Law Dog, Izzo will be in the hizzy. We will give you our game picks. We will give you our MVP. And we will also project. What was the other thing I wanted to do? Not just MVP, but what was it?
We're going to have to talk about Super Bowl cuisine.
We do
have to hit on that.
We do have.
Probably got to hit on that.
We have to talk about what's your dish of choice or apps of choice,
or what do you do to change it up? And there's so much to discuss.
To me, if it's the Super Bowl, you got to have wings.
Got to have wings. Yeah, that's a staple, right?
You got to have wings somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to have something in a crock pot with a lot of meat.
Yes, agreed. A
lot of meat.
Got some dips, some fried stuff. Some things that are just not good for you.
Oh, none of it's good for you.
None of it's good for you.
That's
why you starve yourself on Friday and Saturdays.
Hey, Donald Trump, if you want to do something to win my heart, how about this? How about you declare the Monday of the Super Bowl a holiday?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have done everything else screwy. Why don't you, come on, do something for the people, will you? Christ's sakes. Get Elon Musk on. He seems to be able to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Oh, my God.
So, we will see you guys on Saturday. It is my son's birthday weekend. My little guy, I love you. He will be 11. And we have a big game. The Woodlake Boys got to stop the skid. Got to stop the 2 games. Got to stop the 2 games skid on Saturday. Big practice tomorrow night. But we will be working our butts off. You guys do the same. We will see you in about 96 hours, give or take. Until then, for the Law Dog High Question, well, you know the drill, boys and girls.